So this evening, I guess me and Maggie's going to work on her flower garden here for just a little bit. And then we're going to go plant some stuff in the raised beds. So what we're going to do out here at Maggie's flower garden is, you can see the border is right there. Well, we had some flowers reseed out into the grass here, out into the yard. We're either going to put them back in her flower bed or go find somewhere else to plant them. That might be what we do. You want to plant them somewhere else besides here?
Yeah.
Because you've already got plenty down there.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. You about got it. You got a piece of grass there. Right there's a flower. Get that one first.
Don't cover under the leaf where I couldn't see it.
Go straight down so you don't get that taproot. All right, do it one more time. You'll have that one broke loose. There you go. Just like that. There you go. I believe you got it broke loose. Yeah, you got it.
Tonight for supper, I went out there and I went and picked me a few of my collard greens. They're trying to come back out. I was really surprised. The really, really cold weather that we've had. I say really, really cold. Really, really cold for here anyway. Weather that we've had and the different snows and things. My collards have really hung on well. I went out there and picked some smaller leaves and got me a little pot full. I'm the only one that eats them anyway, so I don't need a ton. I've got those boiling. I'll let those boil till the rest of my supper gets done, and I'll show y'all how I fix those. This right here, I call it a pork sweet roll. That's what everybody around here calls it, and the YouTube folks have let me know that this is not a sweet roll, this is a tenderloin. This ain't what I call tenderloin, but you know, different words for different places, different regions, I guess, which is actually pretty fascinating. But pork sweet roll from our pigs we raised. I'm also just going to be making some boxed macaroni and cheese. I do that occasionally, and tonight's one of those nights I don't have anything for my homemade macaroni and cheese, but I think some macaroni and cheese would go good with collard greens and sweet rolls. I've got some leftover biscuits we're going to have, so it's going to be a pretty simple meal tonight.
You want me to try to dig them up for you?
Yeah. You dig up that huge one.
That is a big one. Oh, we didn't get much fruit with it though. There you go. All right. Right there's one more. You gonna get it? Here, that's your rock supposed to be over here on the border. There you go. You got it. Now you gotta figure out where we're gonna put them.
Yeah.
Where do you want to put them?
I don't know. And I see one right here.
That one's all right. It can stay right there. Hey, you want to put them up here next to the house? Where these other flowers we planted last year are? Mm-hmm. Okay. You loaded down, ain't you?
I'm roughly holding all these without the only one hand.
And you dropped it. And another one. Here, I can get that one. Okay, you got it.
I'm on 2 by 2.
I'm not sure, but it looks like a lot of the flowers we had there, I guess they died.
Yeah, now I don't know where they are.
You don't know where they are? Well, you like my shovel? It's a plow point.
The blue one. Look, Daddy.
Perfect. You want to mash them down just a little bit to get them roots connected to the, contacted to the soil.
What's contacted?
Get it where the roots touch
The dirt?
soil. The dirt, yeah. That's one of them old dahlias that was in here. That'll come back out, I think.
You
So
sure?
let's not plant it right there. Put it on down. Put it right here. That should be all right. These things will probably end up taking over.
Yeah. Look, Daddy. Look, I mashed it down a little bit.
That looks good. You got it.
Watch out, little flower.
Talking to the plant. You must have got that from me. All right. Now you need to get them watered in real good.
We need to go hook up the water dishwater hose.
That ought to be good. Hey, Maggie, let it soak in for a few minutes and then come back out here and do it again.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna grab my sweet roll here. Sometimes I cook these whole, and sometimes I just slice them up and cook them in the frying pan. See there? That'll be perfect. And the reason I don't pre-slice these, I've found that they actually freeze better and are better after they've been frozen if you freeze the whole thing without slicing it first. Don't know what it's got to do with anything, but they just seem to, for us anyway, just seem to do better if they're left whole and you slice them when you're ready to eat it. Or cook the whole thing. I do that a lot. Just not tonight. I'm going to go through and sprinkle it with a little salt. In my personal opinion, this doesn't need a whole lot of seasoning. Some salt and black pepper. And it's good that way. I'm gonna let my pan heat up. I'm gonna put my little bacon grease in there. Just enough to cover the bottom of my pan. Bacon grease makes everything better. Don't throw out the bacon grease.
So we're having a sliced sweet roll, macaroni and cheese, and
Collard greens.
you're having collard greens.
What? Is that sweet roll?
Yeah.
I want that piece right
Well,
there.
you better get away from that pan.
I want one sweet roll.
Okay, baby. I got plenty.
We're going to plant them onions after supper then.
I figured so. Alright, now, so for our grease and our sweet roll chunks that are left in our pan, we're going to leave that alone for our collard greens. That's what we're going to use. Now, the way I'm going to show you how I fix them is the way my granny showed me how to fix them. There's a million ways. Some people eat them straight out the boiling pot and go ahead and season them over here. That's not how I do it. So, now we're going to take, I still got some grease left in my pan, and like I said, some little sweet rolled chunks. I'm going to take my greens and we're going to get them out of our water, and I'll just drain them like this. I mean, I could put them in a colander, but that's another dish to wash. So, we're going to do them like this. And we're just going to put them in our grease. And we're going to go ahead and mix them up. Let that grease get on all of them. Hit them with some salt and pepper. And I like a little onion powder in them. You can put a lot more seasoning in that. Season them any way you want to. I just like those few things. And then last but not least, while they're still cooking, I like to go ahead and put me a little touch of vinegar in there. I love apple cider vinegar in my collard greens. Just a little bit. And then when you go to eat them, put just a little bit of hot sauce on them. That is the best eating you will eat anywhere. I'm trying to convince Andy of that. One day, I will. And now I'm not concerned about that vinegar being in my cast iron because it's not going to sit there long. I will wash this pan here in a little bit, and it's never hurt it before. I've cooked tomatoes and everything in my pans. And as long as you go ahead and get it out and you don't let it sit there overnight with this acid in it, it ain't going to hurt nothing. Those look fabulous. You want just enough grease in your pan to fry them, but not so much that they get extremely greasy. And if they do get a little too greasy, they're still good.
I can't believe those collard greens have held on like they did. As cold as it's been.
Well, they kind of, I thought they were dead, but they came back.
Well, they still look pretty rough, but what'd you grab? Some of the newer leaves?
Yeah. Some of them that didn't have no yellow on them.
Yeah.
And I just tasted them, and I could just make them. They're so good. They're so good.
Well, since it's warmed back up, they seem to be coming back out some.
They're fixing to bolt, bro.
Yeah, but I think they're fixing to bolt, though, yeah.
And I've got leftover biscuits from the other night.
Okay.
So, there we go.
It don't matter. It won't be long. They'll be coming out anyways.
Yeah. That looks pretty good, don't it?
It does look good.
Even this.
That don't. We're going to go down here and plant our raised beds now. We've got some onions and some green peas. But I want y'all to look behind me here. She cleaned up pretty good. The old truck does got some rust in it, though. Which it's actually been that way right there since I've owned the truck. This side's worse, but anyways, I just want y'all to know that I can't believe it, and I don't want to somewhat jinx myself, but I've been driving this truck around here ever since the day we pulled it out. And so far, the only thing that I've found wrong with it is I've got a front brake caliper that's sticking just a little bit. And the temperature gauge don't work exactly right. And it worked when I parked it. So I guess that's something I have to look into. I think it's just a sending unit for the temperature gauge. But anyways, other than that, everything works fine. We even used it the other day to go to haul a load of hay back over here. So I'm just blown away at how well everything's been working with that truck. All right, so we're going to plant our new raised bed and one of the ones right above it in onions to start with. And we're probably gonna have more onions than what we can plant in these two. So after that, we may save some and plant some a little bit later, but we also may find somewhere else to stick some too. But then we've also got some green peas soaking right there. Typically, we let them things, well, what was it? It was actually last year.
We let them soak overnight, yeah.
We let them soak overnight.
And we had never soaked them before, and we had the best peas last year we ever had.
They germinated the best they've ever germinated. So
they were still slow, but I think it's just the nature of the pea.
Right. And, well, guess what? We forgot we was going to be planting peas this evening, so we didn't let them soak overnight, but they've been soaking now for...
Probably 4 hours.
Yeah, for a few hours.
Yeah.
So they've soaked up quite a bit of water. But anyways, we're going to put those in the ground out here today, too. Let me smooth this out a little bit. We're going to have some clods in there we just going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Move them packs.
It's the perfect height, though. Even down here is not too bad.
Don't have to bend over?
For shorty.
All right. Let's open up a pack. Which one you want to plant down here?
The white ones.
It don't matter. You want to do the white ones?
Yeah.
All right. Jacob says the white ones. These are just Tractor Supply onion sets that we bought the other day. And we've done onions. We tried from seeds one time. That worked out terribly, but that was our fault.
Yeah.
And then we've done the little sets that are already growing, the little bundles of onions.
And we'll probably still plant some of those this year
Maybe.
when they put them out in the store.
Maybe, but I seem to feel like we have the best luck with onions.
Onion sets.
And that's to each their own. Everybody's different, but
Hang on, Jacob. We're going to start up here on this end and work
hang on,
our
I'll
way.
go to the other side.
I'm willing to plant some.
Maggie, come over here and you get with me then.
Okay.
Which way are we going with them? Across?
Yeah, we'll make little rows. It don't matter. Just probably ought to plant them about 5-6 inches apart.
Just remember where you planted them at. That's the biggest thing. They don't got to be too deep, and make sure you plant them
You just stick them in the ground.
that up.
Like Maggie, that little point right there goes up. Look, you don't have to dig a hole. Watch this.
Look, you just
You just push them down in the ground.
Look, and just stick it
Hey, look, I planted to right there, so
right there.
y'all come
See
on.
how it goes? Just push it down in there.
So we plant one right here?
Maggie,
About right here.
get them on down here closer to where I'm at so we don't get them all mixed up.
If they get mixed up, I won't remember what they are anyway. So
No, you're right. We won't.
Look, Daddy.
I won't remember.
Well, they sure do look pretty when they're all coming up in nice little rows, though. Look, you planted one right on top of mine.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did you plant one right here?
No.
Y'all guys got way
Did you go all the way up to where Daddy?
I went right there.
Right here?
Maggie, I have a feeling you just planted one right there. I'm pretty sure you just, look, you can put that green all the way under. It's fine.
Just stick it down in there.
Maggie's just sticking them anywhere. So we'll just have onions all over the place, I guess, in this bed.
I gotta dig this hole. This one was.
It'll be fine.
Digging in cow manure.
I believe you've got enough onions in that spot right there.
Right here.
Look, there you go. Right there. Right there. And just go straight up to where Maggie planted some. Hey, that's enough white onions. We ain't got to plant
Let's
them.
plant them all, because we're getting on with it. We got this bed and that bed up there. We can put in onions.
Okay. Look, all right. Start
You
doing-
told me that one year we couldn't have enough onions.
Well, as long as they keep better than they did this year. I don't know what happened this year. Them onions.
Oops, you'd already planted one there. Hey, look, let's draw a line. Y'all stay on that side.
Oh, okay.
Me and Maggie will have this side. That way we ain't planting
Spit
on
it
top
out.
of each other. I know, I can't talk. Maggie,
Give me
you
more.
planting them in random spots again. Once these things start coming up, they'll be like a little clump of green, probably.
From Maggie. Just planting them.
What you doing way up over there?
I'm just planting them in a row.
The other day we got our new magazine in the mail. And y'all have heard us talk about Self-Reliance and Backwoods Home magazine. It's a magazine that we've read for years and years, and a few months ago now they reached out to us about sponsoring some of our videos. And to start off with, I'd like to thank them for sponsoring today's video, but the onions made me think of it because they have a really good section in this, the spring, I guess it would be considered the spring version of Self-Reliance that was all about planting onions.
Well, it's a really good article on onions. Like, I even enjoyed it. And
You ain't
yeah,
a reader.
I'm
Much
not
of
a reader, and I enjoyed sitting down and reading that article on onions, on how to grow.
Look, Dad.
What?
Oh, you done made one.
Yeah, we're going to plant on that side. So we're planting inside that block right
All
there.
right, well, give me some.
But it's on an article on how to grow the different types of onions, the different ways you can buy onion plants to plant, such as sets and onion starts and seeds. And
how to do each one of those.
And it even goes down as far as how to preserve onions.
Okay, Mama, I
Didn't
already
it?
got this
Yeah,
one.
I actually was reading that.
This one's done.
The correct way to dehydrate them, and something it said, which a lot of y'all may know this, but something I haven't thought about, it said to cook the onions, like get them caramelized when you get that good onion flavor when you cook stuff and caramelize the onions. To do that, and then dry them off from the grease, like try to get the grease, like dab them with a paper towel.
Yeah.
And then put them in the dehydrator, and it's like a different kind of onion powder. It's a more flavorful onion powder.
So you use dehydrated cooked onions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that, I had never heard anybody doing that. I thought that was pretty neat.
Over
But
here.
I mean, one thing about the magazines, if you've never heard of them, they go from all things gardening to raising livestock to building all kinds of DIY building projects. They even have a really cool kids section in both magazines. This one, me and the kids love birds and trying to figure out what sounds different birds make. And it has like a whole big old long article with acronyms on how do you know what bird is what. Like one of them was something, I can't remember what bird it was now, but it said, if you listen, it sounds like it's saying cheeseburger.
I remember seeing that
Cheeseburger.
in there. Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. But if it sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to check them out. We'll post you a link down in the description and down in the comments for 50% off a year subscription, which is a killer deal. And honestly, I don't know how they put out the information that they put out for such a small price.
Yeah,
honestly.
the price of the magazine is pretty affordable to begin with.
Yeah, it is. And
Now, it is a quarterly magazine, so it doesn't come, but what, every 3 months?
yeah. We get 4 magazines a year of Backwoods, and then Self-Reliance, which is their sister magazine, is also, you get 4 of those too. So you can get either or you can get both of them. And we get both of them because there's so much information in both that talk about different things. It's kind of like our channel here. It's a little bit of everything, I think, in there. Cooking, canning, gardening, all the above.
Well, the first magazine I read, I was like, hey, that's our channel in magazine form.
Yeah. So, like I said, link down in the description or the comments. If you want 50% off, be sure to go through that link. Again, I'd like to thank them, Backwoods Home, for sponsoring today's video.
So,
I believe we got it full.
are y'all full over there?
We got this much more.
Well, all we've got left is the red onions to plant.
Did pretty good.
So we can plant a few right
These
here.
things are going to be thick.
Yeah, especially on my side, because
Maggie,
Maggie was just sticking them in.
I'm actually sticking.
I couldn't keep up with where she put onions, so.
Well, Daddy, I was just sticking rows everywhere.
Well,
I wouldn't.
we'll know in a few days. If it'll stay warm, we'll know where all we've got onions. They'll be popping up pretty quick.
Well, just hand us a handful and let's stick them down here.
You know, and it might seem like it's
stick
just a
all
little bit early to be planting onions or to be planting anything really for our area. But as long as we don't have no back to single digits again,
Yeah,
these
they'll be
onions should be
fine.
fine.
I mean, we've even overwintered onions in the past.
But we've just noticed they do a lot better if we plant them in the spring.
Yeah. If you have a mild winter, like the past few years, we actually had mild winters, but this winter has been normal, so.
Yeah, this winter a lot of things would have
What is
never
this?
survived.
What's that little guy doing? Let's put him in there.
All right,
Put
we're
this one right here.
going to move up there to the other bed and get these red ones in.
All right. Let's do it to it.
That garlic bed looks nice.
That garlic bed looks really good. Whatever kind, I need to go back and actually look at that video. Whatever kind we planted over there is rocking and rolling. This is doing good too, but that's doing really good.
That's the nice thing about doing videos is we have a personal record of everything we do around here, and we can go back and see exactly how we done it.
Because if you're new around here and hadn't been around with us for gardening season, we are terrible
At keeping up with stuff.
Yeah.
Well, let's get down here and work that way. We'll save this side for something else.
Starting to root right here.
Why is it? I thought it was a clump of grass. I was like, why am I having such issues?
It's the hay under there. I just covered the mulch up with the compost the other day. So this one may not be as easy to push into.
I see that.
Some places are probably thicker than the others. I just had a hard spot to poke in. It's where that layer of hay's under there, and like I said, I just covered it up. I mean, it'll rot out.
And somebody mentioned in one of our last videos from the other day, when we were talking about adding our raised beds out yonder to the main garden, to be sure, you know, to put wire underneath it for the bowls, and we're definitely...
That is definitely
yeah,
on
that
the
is
list to do.
definitely what we're going to do, because if y'all remember from last year, we have a terrible bowl problem out there on that side of the yard. And the cats do pretty good at taking care of it, but last year I think the sweet potatoes got so thick that the cats couldn't find them, and as soon as we started pulling them sweet potatoes, the cats started getting the bowls again. Remember?
Yep. The guineas don't like us being out here, do they?
Nope.
Jenny, be quiet.
Good luck with that. And also it's getting close to dark. They kind of like holler for their friends to come to bed. So.
Yeah. Come on, time to go to bed.
They're always the last one up.
They're the parents of the chickens.
Yep. And they're always the last ones up. They like won't go in that house until all them chickens are in that house.
They gotta make sure everybody.
Wonderful.
It's glorious.
The onions are planted. Does this make y'all want to plant more stuff?
I just like planting onions.
Oh, you don't want to plant nothing else?
Yo,
I'm just when
we
I'm
made a tea.
We did, didn't we? What sounds does tea make? That's right.
what sound does a V make?
I'm not gonna tell you.
That's right. Good job.
We got to get those trellises cleaned off just a little bit before we plant. Or I don't guess
I was wondering what we was aiming to do.
I don't guess it's going that we got to, but it would make things look better.
It is nice to be able to come out here and do a little bit after supper. The days are getting a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I'm out here in shorts.
You're out here in shorts. Daddy's got a coat on.
That's the one these two hot-blooded youngins.
Like digging up the flowers and doing this.
I remember these being easier to pull off last year.
Yeah, they're terrible.
These are just crumbling.
I'm just jerking them like this.
I'm just getting the main, what I can get a hold of off.
I'm just jerking them like this.
I
Hear
see
me?
you. You like a Tasmanian devil. And you ain't got to worry about it too much. Get the thickest.
The only thing is, you're going to have to do the top of this thing. I can't reach it.
We could save these for pintos.
Yep. Yeah, you could actually save those as dried beans.
Look, Daddy.
Or you could plant them as seeds.
You could plant those, I reckon.
I'm gonna plant these.
They should have been protected in their shell. All right, y'all. I want them planted pretty thick.
So we got.
Yeah, we planted them thick last year.
Yeah, because I don't know why. We don't ever have that great a germination with peas anyway, so plant them thick. All right, look. Y'all get them laid in there and then let me go back and cover them up. So y'all lay them all in and I'll come back. Yeah, plant them pretty thick.
Maggie, I don't know about that. Daddy, how does this?
What kind of peas are these?
Green arrow.
Is that what we planted last year, some of them?
This is what we planted in the fall.
Oh, okay. We don't know how they did.
No, we don't know how well they do because they didn't make it. Poor things, they froze to death. You got plenty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, like you said, they always go farther than you think.
Good job.
There's still plenty of peas left in there.
Yeah, it's a whole pile of them.
Well, I don't expect these to do as good right here. But, well, they might actually do great.
Yeah.
But they don't have that great of a trellis system to grow on. So if we see they come up and start growing really nice, we'll fix something a little better here. So I think we already said, but these are Green Arrow peas, and these came from Hoss Tools down in Norman Park, Georgia.
And that's where we get most of, not all of our seeds, but most of our seeds. And he's got some really good stuff for all things gardening, that's for sure.
Yep, so if anybody's interested, there's also a link for Hoss Tools website down in the description. So Meagan is running around with tomato cages. And if you're wondering what she's doing, right now we have 2 roosters running loose that we haven't taken care of yet.
I let them loose because I don't need them. I don't got enough chickens for that many roosters. And for a while they were doing really good, staying out in the pasture, cleaning up the cow pies and stuff. But since everything's been kind of winterized, they stay up around the house. And, well, they've served their purpose as pasture sanitizers, and it's about time for them to serve their purpose in other ways. So it's about their time.
So until then, though, we're hoping that these tomato cages laying on top of them somewhat deters them from scratching these pea seeds up out of the ground.
Y'all people that garden with free-range chickens,
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how you do it.
Chickens make the biggest mess of anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they were just notoriously just scratch and scratch and scratch and scratch.
Anywhere they can find.
I'll tell you, if we had the free-range chickens, I wouldn't have them.
I know.
You know that well.
Yep.
These 2 roosters have drove me crazy.
And they ain't even as bad as hens. They don't scratch nearly as
But
bad
they
as
still
the
scratch
hens.
everywhere.
But yeah, but I wanted to raise them out with eventual intention of them
Feeding us
eventually. It's free chicken because I had a hen that sat on them and hatched them. Like, I didn't even know she was sitting on eggs and hatched them, right? I don't feed them. They take care of themselves. Like, I don't do anything to them roosters.
Throw them a little scratch every now and then.
Every once in a while.
But not much.
No, that let them take care of themselves, which some people may frown upon, but they take care of themselves. They roost down there in that barn.
And they're beautiful roosters.
They are. I hate to see them go, but that was one of the reasons that I did keep them, because what did our ancestors do? They let their chickens sit on eggs. They ate the roosters.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
And they also let their chickens free range, and I don't know how they still.
I know. I don't either. I don't know how they growed anything, but they did. It's getting dark on
Y'all,
us.
yeah, it is just about dark. And so we got our peas planted. We got our onions planted. I'm sure along the way there'll probably be more onions planted.
Yeah, maybe.
But these will be
A good
onions
start.
for the big onions, the bulbing onions.
And I'm hoping these will come in too. The reason I like to plant them early too, I need them to come in around the time I'm making salsa and chow chow. And usually that works out pretty good,
Right.
even if they're not huge. I mean, that usually, the timing
They're
works
at least
out
big
good.
enough you can use.
That's
by then.
right.
Yep. So, like we always say, we hope you enjoyed the video.
Hope you might have learned a little something until we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.